The theme of the Atlanta Motor Speedway is real racing, real fast. But right now, time is running out real fast on those chasers trying to catch Jeff Gordon. His 53-point lead over teammate Jimmy Johnson is one of the biggest ever at this point in a chase. But that was not the subject matter being talked about in the garage area this weekend. Rather, all that attention was focused on the inter-team rivalry between Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards that we all saw on TV last weekend. This weekend, Carl Edwards has a chance to lock up his first ever NASCAR championship if he runs well in the Busch Series event at Memphis. But instead of talking about that, he spent his time in Atlanta this weekend talking about a post-race confrontation at Martinsville and on-track problems with his teammate Matt Kenseth. But Matt Kenseth has always chosen to fly under the radar and in his own quiet way deferred the controversy back to Edwards. Roush Racing teammates mostly sided with Kenseth in this rivalry, but team owner Jack Roush had just one piece of advice: solve it without wrecking any race cars.
Stacking up off of turn two, a couple of cars in behind Earnhardt Jr., whose car just slows abruptly as they go around him on both sides.
And guys, the exit of turn two, that's always really slick down that part of the racetrack, so expect them to run high on top of the track. And with that said, turn one's really bumpy on the bottom, so they're going to probably keep on the high side the first part of this race to stay out of those bumps. They blew down there.
They blew the racetrack off with blowers right before the start, but I see a lot of dust and dirt. I don't know if these guys are maybe getting out on the tires and slipping around a little bit. We see a lot of guys slipping and sliding already.
Kurt Busch, who's strutting second right now in the gold car, the highest qualifying chase contender. He is trying to get there and get those 5 bonus points for leading a lap. There is Kurt on the inside. Desperately needs to lead a lap and get those 5 bonus points because, folks, he is way back in the chase in 10th position.
But Jerry, remember one thing, there's a lot of momentum on the top side of this racetrack, especially off of turn 4. We've seen a lot of the passes there, a lot of close victories because of that corner. So Kurt Busch knows that, the rest of his field knows that, and I expect him to start using that top side of that racetrack when these tires start wearing, Andy.
The tires, when they're new and they're good and sticky like they are right now, they're going to run. A lot of these guys will run right on the bottom of the racetrack, but as soon as those tires start wearing, you'll see a lot of these guys start creeping right up next to the wall.
Let's show you what happened. You're talking about what happened here when he took the green flag. Now watch him coming off turn 2. Watch the 8 car just abruptly stop, almost slow down on spin.
Yeah, Dale Jr. real loose coming off of turn 2. And like I said, that part of the racetrack is very, very loose in the start. Kind of dirty down. Let's watch it one more time.
Well, you got to give Davis Trimby and Ryan Newman a lot of credit here because that could have been a big-time wreck.
Dave?
And Jerry, Jr. referred a little bit to the motor stumbling at the beginning of that. He says, I don't know what that was, and it hasn't happened since, so they ate up to full song, but the beginning was not good.
And he about spun that car out off of turn 2, stacking up like that. And the rest of those drivers did a great job to, avoid him, that's for sure.
Brad?
Doc, as we went to the green flag, the King's hat blew off as the parade came by, and now his hat is sitting actually on the front stretch here right before you get into turn 1. You see the King's baseball cap sitting in the turn there, so a little bit of debris on the course thanks to the King.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't his cowboy hat, or they had to throw a caution, Brad.
Yeah, he would have came down and got that thing.
He would have gone at. Now watch the hat come off the King here. Whoa! I think that's the first time I've ever seen the King without a hat, either that cowboy hat or a baseball hat.
Oh, man, that was way cool. The King lost his hat. Unbelievable. Now, look, you're right. If that was the cowboy hat, it'd be a caution, then probably a red. We throw the red flag out there and take a look at that.
Yeah, woe be it to the driver who runs over the King's cowboy hat. That would not work. Here's talking about running away. How about the 2-car of Kurt Busch, who this week said we were been very okay in the chase until we got to Martinsville last week, and we just ran horribly. We had problems with the right front tire. We hit the wall, the toe out. We finished 31st. We were embarrassed by how poorly we ran a week ago. Speaking of running well here this weekend, how about the 44 car, Dale Jarrett? Best qualifying effort of the year. 3rd overall on the starting grid at a place where he has definitely won and been a factor here many times in the past. AB?
Yeah, we know what a struggle it's been for Dale Jarrett this year, Doc. 11 times he's failed to qualify for a race this year, driving for Michael Waltrip Racing, that brand new team that started this season with no owner points. And when he qualified 3rd here on Friday night, DJ likened his taking that top qualifying spot to the upset of the year in college football. Appalachian State beating Michigan. He said, we have the upset of the year now. Well, I don't know if it's going to be an upset if he wins today or not, but he's certainly going to try and keep this car in the top 15 for the afternoon.
You know, he's got to be fired up, Alan. 3rd place qualifying. He's got his car really running good here today. I don't think it'd be that big an upset if he won here at Atlanta. Dale Jarrett's a great race car driver.
Now take a look at Tony Stewart. He won this race last year here, then went on to Texas to win Texas also. He was really on a run, and here's a guy that's 4th in our point standings that can definitely get back in the game if he's got another week like he had last year.
Behind him, the 31 car. Jeff Burton back there. These are all guys in the chase. In position, the 29, his teammate Kevin Harvick. Remember, Harvick started way back in 34th position, already up to 26.
This race is not going to change a lot. The track isn't, at least from yesterday's practice session. We've had good weather here, great weather, just unreal. So the drivers and the tracks are pretty accustomed to what's going on right now. They've got it all figured out. But take a look at Jimmy Johnson working the bottom of the racetrack down in turn 3 and 4.
Jimmy Johnson had a fast race car in practice in the last practice session, but he said it wasn't all that comfortable, but he looked pretty good right here. You got more on him, Mike?
Yeah, Andy, talking about that race car, believe it or not, it's not the car he used back in the spring when he dominated this race, leading 135 laps. Instead, it's the car they ran at Charlotte just a couple of weeks ago. I asked Chad Knaus why they would make that decision, knowing that the Atlanta car they had earlier this year was so good. He simply said, based on history, that car was more consistent, it adjusts better, and it has much better wind tunnel numbers.
And Mike, this car has raced 11 times in its 2-year career here as a race car, and it has either won or finished second 6 times. So pretty good car. The one he won with at California and Las Vegas early in the year. Now, back in the pack here, a couple of guys. Here's the 11 car. Denny Hamlin being shown back in 16th position.
And Denny's 8th in our point standings right now, so he's another guy trying to make up some ground. Although he's 414 points behind. That's a long way back, guys. And there's our in-race reporter, Casey Mears. We're going to be talking to him throughout the day.
A couple of cars back there, you can see Juan Pablo Montoya. Behind him is Carl Edwards, who tried but couldn't quite pull off the Busch Series championship last night in what was a marathon in Memphis. And Carl Edwards right now following Juan Pablo Montoya, who had a great run here in the spring. Dave?
He sure did, Doc. A 5th place finish. And one of the reasons Donnie Wingo said is because we harped on it from the start with these race cars about tire management. And that was one thing that Juan Pablo did very good in the spring. They expect him to do very well here today. And during these long runs, these tires wear out. If he can do that, he'll have another shot at a good finish.
Yeah, I was talking to Donnie Wingo, his crew chief, down there last night in the motorhome lot, and he was pretty optimistic they would have another good run just like they did in the spring. And they've had a lot of good races since. Wow, they've got some three wide racing here.
Well, they're wise to get back in line right now. You see Martin Truex working the bottom side of the racetrack there. Truex is really on top of the track early. I mean, dusting up that top groove the first 2 laps. Get a little loose out of control there, but he gathered it back up.
I was kind of wondering whether he was doing that on purpose or not, or whether that was accidental.
Here is Jeff Gordon. He is being shown in the 5th position. Folks, in happy hour yesterday, this car was a handful. He said it was very sensitive. It was very loose going in the corners. And he was 25th fastest in happy hour. A lot of folks said maybe that's the first chink in the armor. Could he be having some troubles here today? Kurt Busch, our leader, Biffle Johnson, Casey Kane, and Jeff Gordon in the top 5.
To get that rear of that car good, because the arrow here, the way that air hits that, holds that car to the racetrack.
Lap 62, if you just joined our coverage, Kurt Busch driving the 2 cars, led 3 times for 57 laps. Martin Truex back in the 1 car has led 3 laps, and Biffle and Kyle Petty have each led a lap.
The biggest problem here is that Clint Boyer restarted the race in 33rd spot, having to come back in and do some work on that car. So he's got some traffic to deal with and try to stay on the lead lap.
Change points, second line up there. You see Gordon Johnson. Now Boyer back 206 points back, and he can ill afford to have that happen as you see how well that Jimmy Johnson is running. trying to sail by the 5 car, but Kyle Busch, his teammate, comes back on the inside. They are battling for 3rd position.
Yeah, well, Kyle Busch, he didn't show any patience whatsoever. He's got those fresh tires from that last pit stop, and he just blew right past Johnson on the bottom side of the track and off of turn 2. It's been pretty slick down there.
Left side of your screen, that's the battle for the lead. Truex has had an awfully racy car. His car working really well on the bottom of the racetrack, but so now is the 2 car, who eventually was moving up a little bit. Now Truex moving up in his tracks.
I'm going to remind everybody one more time how strong this 2 car has been on these mile-and-a-half racetracks. He won Michigan early in the year. He was flying to Kansas City before he got caught up with some problems there. But big crash down the backstretch. Oh, Mark Martin, David Gilliland, huge accident.
38 car of Gilliland, Robert Yates' car, heavy contact, and then Mark Martin in the 0-1. Also in it here, bringing out caution for the 4th time today on lap 65.
Gives you a sense of how fast these cars are running down that backstretch. You saw that problem with the 38 car. Mark Martin just looking for a place to go and just ran out of room.
They got real racy off this turn, too. We saw in the restart they're making a 3 wide already, exiting with those fresh tires, a lot of grip. I have to go back to replay shortly here to see what happened. I actually called this one, but you could see a lot of stuff happening off it, too.
Gilliland, who had the 3rd fastest practice timer in the top 5, make it 4th quickest in happy hour. Thought he was going to have a really good run here today, driving for Robert Yates, but has an issue here. Oh, there's contact there.
He's got behind on his steering after having some contact with that Red Bull car. Just
like
catch the number. And man, that's a hard lick right there for Mark Martin.
Here's the impact as Martin came across the racetrack. Watch the 38 come right down in front of him.
When Mark catches that right at the last minute, nothing Mark Martin could do. He was committed to the bottom of the track. And guys, when you're running that fast, you just can't turn it right and jump on the brakes that quick.
From Jeff Burton's onboard camera, one of our chasers right behind this incident. Watch what Jeff saw.
Spin in front of you, spin in front of you. Stay down, stay down. Go back up, go back up. There you go. Great job, boss. Great job. Caution's out, guys.
You see that real time, you see how fast everything happens.
Matt Kenseth, onboard camera right in front of him. He's able to get down.
Stay low, clear, clear high, clear high.
Boy, it happens in a hurry here, doesn't it?
Well, that 38 car just got fishtailing David Gilliland, and he just could not hold on to that thing. And that turn 2 has been a tough one today. These guys are just getting aggressive in that turn, and David just got loose, couldn't pull that thing down, and pulled it down off a car and just got loose. And look at Mark Martin. Glad he's okay.
Mark, one of the fan favorites, making his 44th start at Atlanta Motor Speedway. His first start came March of 1982. David Gilliland getting out of the car, talking to the safety crews there, and able to walk down off the banking.
Jerry, you hate that for David. He was really fast in practice yesterday. Had a good quick time. I believe he was 4th fastest in practice yesterday, and he's been in the top 5 all week long. And for him to go out this early, bad day for Robert Yates Racing. The team suffered enough all year.
Red flag to field here to be able to get some of the debris cleaned up on the racetrack, so they'll have them all stop over there. As we will show you again, this violent impact, hard impact, over 190 miles per hour, bringing out caution number 4 on lap 65.
Martin Truex right now getting around Kyle Busch and trying to run down Kurt Busch right now. That Truex has had a lot of horsepower under the hood today. Car's making big power.
Battle for 6th position. 99 Edwards trying to move on the inside off the corner of Jeff Burton. Can't quite get it done.
And let these tires wear in just a little bit. You know, this is one great track to race because of the tire wear. We talked about it earlier, Andy.
Yeah, the tires here will fall off about 2 seconds after they get a little bit of age on them. That's why these guys feel so racy. When you put these new tires on there, man, they just get so much more grip. They can go in there and run, like I said, 2 seconds a lap faster.
How about the 17? It's been a week where we've talked a lot about Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth and the issues they had after the race at Martinsville. They both tried to put it behind him. Carl Edwards apologizing for how he handled the situation when he drew back in a mock punch after the race. Kenseth and Edwards had their issues at Kansas City. Some internal squabbles, a little bit of a Fenway feud as they still run side by side. Let's go down to Jamie Little.
Well, Doc, I talked to Robbie Reiser, crew chief, for Matt Kenseth. They've been together since Kenseth came into the sport. And I asked him about the situation that happened between Carl, and he said, this sport isn't the way it used to be. Those guys would come to blows. That's the way it used to go down. He said, now, to be honest with you, Jamie, it's like we have a bunch of tennis players in our sport. And you guys in the media make a big deal out of it, as he was laughing, of course.
Well, he's one of the old school guys. He likes to see them fighting and roughing each other up and causing a little controversy, but you do that stuff nowadays, NASCAR will fine you big time, and they'll actually throw you out of the race.
Here comes the one car. Speaking of nowadays, here comes Martin Truex Jr. His dad's a pretty good racer in his own right. Dad Martin Truex Sr., good buddies with Dale Earnhardt Sr. Now the juniors are racing off as well. Martin Truex taking the lead away from Kurt Busch. Truex now has led 4 times for 66 laps.
One thing I've seen here is that one car has a good short run car. He runs good right after the green, and then that 2 car comes alive after they run a few laps.
There's one thing you got to hand it to, guys. This DEI Corporation, Teresa Earnhardt and all the people there, they're not dead, that's for sure. This team is fast, it's good. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is leaving the team, and Martin Truex Jr. seems to be picking it up. They've got fast race cars, a lot of horsepower. They'll be just fine.
See Clinton Boyer losing a spot to the 17 car, Matt Kenseth, but I'm pretty impressed with those right side tires, how well they're holding up on this 07. This is a great move by Gil Martin and that crew down there to pull this off and get some track position.
How long can he stay there, though, with only 2 right sides? When will he begin to falter?
I think it'll actually balance out after they run a few laps. He's going to lose a few spots to these fast cars like the 9-car Casey Kane, passing on the outside, but if he can hold up in that top 10 or 15 spots, they're just going to make up some good ground for him because he wasn't up there before.
More on the 07 with Dave Burns.
Jerry, another reason why that'd be a great thing. He ran over the debris from the wreck during that caution. In fact, radioed to his guys, man, give me some more warning next time because I just ran over something. Andy, sometimes you'll come right down pit road just to make sure you don't have an issue, but Clint thought everything was okay, and so far, all the air up on all those tires.
So far, so good, Dave. He's hanging in there. He's going to lose a few spots here to some of these guys, but I think it's going to work good for him.
07 being shown in 8th position. Now, how about your points leader? Where is the 24 car of Jeff Gordon? He is back in 17th position. There's a 24 car, AB.
Doc, we saw him just miss that accident by being back in traffic on the restart previous to this one. Why? Well, they stopped on the pit stop to pull a spring rubber out of the right rear quarter of the car to try and affect its handling. A gamble they took, the extra time on pit road to adjust the car. What were they trying to adjust? Let's go to our ESPN Dish Tech Center. Mr. Brewers, give us a show.
Thanks, Alan. What we're trying to do here, folks, on the left rear, Rusty was talking about earlier, when we take that spring rubber out, we let the car turn from the middle of the corner off. What a lot of people are doing when they take the spring rubber and insert it, they're trying to achieve downforce. Now, some of these guys are pretty crafty in practice. They'll insert spring rubbers in both rear springs. What that's going to do is going to keep the rear of the car high, keep the nose down low, and that's going to give them more downforce all the way around the racetrack. That's a pretty good idea to test this stuff in practice prior to the event so you know exactly what you have. Jerry?
That's a great point, Tim. He explained how that spring rubber goes in between the springs and can lift the car up and, of course, provide more downforce in terms of a stiffer spring. For more information on adjustments, log on to ESPN.com, search word know-how.
Andy, you just got to know what that thing's going to do. If you put those rubbers in the springs in the left rear, one in the right rear, I mean, you better try that first before you do it so you know what you can do, like Tim was saying during the race.
Talk about how putting the spring in the car can raise the back of the car and allow you to get more air on that spoiler and give you some of that downforce. Let's show you here with our draft tracks what we're talking about.
You can see at the back of the car all the yellow air, which is kind of the dirty air, but that's the air that creates downforce. The higher that is in the back, the more downforce you got. But now the blue air, you get out behind the 2-car of Kurt Busch right there. That creates downforce in the front. So, you want downforce in the front and downforce in the back to really handle well. You don't want that downforce in the front to go away, or else that car will just flat not handle at all.
one way to kind of illustrate that, I've heard people say this before, stick your hand out the window going about 70 miles an hour down the interstate, hold it flat, and you feel like your hand doesn't move up or down. You put a little bit of angle in your hand, put your front of your hand down, you feel that thing just push your hand, the air will push it down. That's the exact same thing that happens to these race cars, except on a magnified scale. And these cars, when you put that nose down on that car and get the tail up, it just makes a lot of downforce and pushes the car down.
Now, we just spent $3 million or so that video, and you just stuck your hand out the window. It didn't cost us nothing. I kind of like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Martin Truex has got downforce. He looks like John Force coming off the corner. Bradley, you know, this one car has got some horsepower coming off the corner.
Absolutely, Doc. And I spent this morning talking to Max Siegel, head of global operations for DEI, and he said, you know, it's been a long year. They've had to go through a lot of different processes, obviously with the junior situation, but he said going into next season, they're really excited and looking forward to Martin stepping up and carrying the banner for DEI as they go forward. This young man's had a tremendous year. He's moved out from under the shadow, and next year will be a big year for Martin Truex Jr. along with DEI.
And Rusty put it well. This team has got way too much passion, way too much talent, and way too much pride talking about DEI to go away. They're going to be a factor in 2008.
Speaking of DEI, this 8 car is on the move. He just got that lap back. Now here he goes. He's going for the top 10 right here.
Now, trust me, they're not going nowhere. This 1 car and this 8 car are fast, baby. They're hooked up.
All you folks that voted the AT&T Crew Chief Challenge, I guess you knew what you're talking about because the 8 car is headed back to the front. We'll see if he can get there. Lap 188 of 325. They are chasing Martin Truex Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s teammate. Behind him is Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Casey Kane in the top 5.
Just 35 laps to go in the 7th race for the chase. Kyle Busch in the lead, but Jeff Gordon is stalking.
He really is, Susie, and we have 8 of our 10 chasers in the top 10. It's just unbelievable how these guys have risen to the top. And once again, the Hendrick Motorsport cars, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, running 7th and 8th respectively, with more laps and more positions to gain. They have been dominant all year, and they're going to dominate today.
Since our countdown show this afternoon, we've been trying to set everybody up for the great finishes here at Atlanta. Any reason to think this wouldn't be another close finish?
No, not at all. I actually went out to the racetrack and watched Kyle Busch is absolutely driving the wheels off of a loose race car. Martin Truex is super fast, and Kurt Busch is good. I do expect Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon to make a run, though, here in the next 20 laps. It's going to be a great finish.
Doc, it's all you guys for the finish.
Thank you, Susie and Brad. The 17 car decided I'm going to have a little something to say about who wins this one today. All the way from the back of the pack, started last because of an engine change. And now Matt Kenseth deciding to make a move. He's in 2nd spot. Jamie?
Well, Doc, he's moved up 2 positions since the last pit stop, but he came over the radio and asked his crew chief, Robbie Reiser, how's it looking on fuel? This is what they said.
Their fuel situation if it goes green, Robbie? Probably about 3 laps short. Okay, if it goes green, just let me know about 20 ago. I can save 3 laps. I think that shouldn't be a problem. So just let me know if we get in the middle of the roundabout how many laps we got left. Or then go down, I'll try to save you a little bit. If when we get the full calculation, I'll let you know.
And Matt Kenseth just came over the radio to crew chief Robbie Reiser and said, all right, man, I'm going to push right now to get around the 2, and then I'm going to push to get around the 1, and then I'll back it down. Rusty, how hard is it as a driver to have that discipline to push hard and then back off to conserve?
Well, it's pretty easy to push hard, and right now he's the fastest car on the racetrack. He's running down Kyle Busch, but Andy, I mean, I don't know if he can save that much fuel.
It'd be hard to save 3 laps in the last 20 laps, but I'm sure he's still thinking about fuel this whole run. The one thing I see about Matt Kenseth right now is that he's back to the old Matt Kenseth. When this chase started, he started going out here trying to run hard at the beginning of the race, lead laps, lead the most laps, doing things that he doesn't normally do, and he got him in trouble. He wrecked some cars, and he found himself way down in these chase points. Today, I see the old Matt Kenseth. This is the way he used to do this thing. He would kind of ride around in the top 10 or 12, and when it came time to pay off, this is the position he finds himself in, and this is what works for Matt Kenseth.
Well, you know, one thing I like about that 17 car, that black and yellow paint scheme reminds me of that old number black Miller January Draft 2 car I used to drive, man. That's a good-looking car Matt's driving right there, Jerry.
Good-looking car. That reminds us a lot of some of the old colors of Rusty. Now, why do you think he changed his style? I know we went out of Dover and led over 190 laps, and he just was aggressive from the get-go, and now moving back to the old Matt.
I'm not sure, Doc. I just think it's just one of those deals that, you know, he thought that's what they needed to do to win the championship, to go out there and do these things and get these bonus points. But that's not a Matt Kenseth style of racing, and I think that just didn't work for him.
Brad, your thoughts?
Yeah, Doc, I talked to Robbie Reiser right before the chase started, and he just felt like they had a really bad season. They didn't run very well at the end of the year. They had a lot of things going on. Matt even made the observation for them to have a chance the chase, they were going to have to run a lot harder. So I think they changed their mindset and came out, like Andy said, super aggressive, totally against, you know, the way they normally do things, and it just backfired. It did not work, but you got to give them an effort for trying.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're certainly making the effort there. Speaking of making the effort, how about Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr.? One guy trying to win a championship, another guy just trying to win a race. And in fact, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just trying to finish a race competitively.
And you didn't see Jeff Gordon racing like this in the middle part of the race. And that's what I was talking about. He would just give these spots, let these guys ride around in front of him. But right now, it's time to go, and it's 28 laps to go, and he's just going to race them for him.
Jeff Gordon, a four-time winner here, one of 4 of the wins that have come on Hendrick Motorsports. By the way, Hendrick Motorsports tied for second all-time in terms of owners' wins. The winningest owners here are the Wood brothers. Our Aflac trivia question, the Wood brothers have won here 4 times. Who was the last Wood brothers driver to win at Atlanta? Remember, the Wood brothers had Kel Yarborough and A.J. Foy, Neil Bonnet, David Pearson, Dale Jarrett. A lot of great drivers are driven for the Wood brothers. Who was the last guy? Who do you think it is, guys?
Can I answer?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Let me give you a year. March 1993, and it was Morgan Shepherd. How about a great run for Morgan Shepherd?
That's great. I knew that. I just didn't want to spoil it for you, Doc.
That's great. I knew that too. You know why? Because Russ Thompson told us that last night.
Yeah, Russ knows it all. He and Bill Sloboda know it all. Here's the Bill Elliott driving the Wood Brothers car. Awesome Bill, a 5-time winner at Atlanta, and of course the '88 Cup champion. Speaking of Cup champions, how about Dale Jarrett in the 44 car? Jarrett, who had his best qualifying effort of the year and was running in the top 20, now being shown in 24th position.
Well, one reason he's back there right now is because he made a pit stop right before we went green and got a little extra fuel. I'm thinking so he could make sure he made it to the end. So he was one of the guys that just topped off with 1 to go.
Pole center on pit road. Here's Greg Biffle down. He's going to get a little some tires and fuel as well. Here goes Jimmy Johnson by the 9 car, moving back into the top 5.
You know, the racetrack is changed a lot right now, guys. The outside air temperature is cooling down dramatically. Turn 1 and 2, it's almost completely shaded now, although we got a lot of sun on 3 and 4. And Andy, I got to believe the cars are starting to tighten up right now. Getting a little harder for these drivers to turn these front ends without the front end taking off on them.
A lot of things change the racetrack, and a lot of this rubber getting put down on here changes it, but this sun going down changes probably more than anything. They're going almost in complete darkness, you see, in 1 and 2. And that track's going to have a lot of grip on that end. You go to the other end, and it'll be slipping and sliding just a little bit.
A lot of question marks about fuel. Can they make it? Will they make it? And, of course, these guys can ill afford to make a mistake. Alan?
Doc, I just talked to Steve Letarte. Those pit stops came with 56 laps to go. We went green with 53 laps to go. And 53 laps has been about the outside range of the fuel for this 24 car all day. Steve says we are not stopping. I think we're about a half a lap short. My driver can get me that. Second part of that story is this: how your car's handling affects your fuel mileage. Right now, Jeff Gordon with an extreme tight condition on his car, meaning the front end is sliding a lot. Andy and Rusty, that means he's working the throttle differently than he was before.
Yeah, Alan, when you got a tight race car, you have to put a lot of wheel in and turn the car left and really step on the throttle, and that uses a lot of fuel.
Yeah, that actually bogs the engine down. You can actually see the RPMs really struggling to keep up. And boy, when you do that, you're right, Andy. It's like just being at a stop sign with the brake on and holding the throttle down. That thing is just struggling, and it's burning a lot of gas. Not good.
See, putting a little wheel in it right here through the corner. It's going to take some doing for him to make something out of this if he's going to try to squeeze a few extra laps out of that tank.
And the good crew chiefs, and Steve Letarte's one of them, will come across the radio and say you're tight or loose when he's trying to calculate that fuel. And he's going to take that into account.
We've not made a 53-lap run yet under green without having some kind of power issue, so that's one thing you got to think about too.
You heard Alan Bestwick say that he thought they were going to be about a half a lap short, but his driver can get him that. And both of you grimaced when he said that. Are you concerned?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can count on your driver. Most of these drivers do know how to save fuel, and that's to back off the gas a little bit early, don't use the brake. And when they know they have to do it, they can save a little bit of fuel.
You know, I grimaced a little bit when we heard, Matt Kenseth's crew chief, Robbie Reiser, saying that, they need to save 3 laps. Now, I can believe a half a lap you can save, but 3 laps of fuel with 20 to to go. Robbie was telling Matt back and forth, oh, that's stretching it to save that much fuel now.
We talked about gambling. We talked about pulling the goalie late in the hockey match, the Hail Marys in football. Gotta gamble here when you're at the bottom of the chase. That's exactly where that 17 car is. He's 12th, last driver in the chase coming in. And if he can roll the dice, maybe he can get there. Now the move the 17 car made on pit road. Coming off of pit road, that is our Allstate good hands move of the race. Now watch Matt Kenseth getting in front of the 5 car, and he stays there, and he'll pinch him off in behind the 2 coming out. And also the 11 car trying to speed out. But a great effort by Matt Kenseth. On behalf of Kenseth, Allstate will donate $1,000 to the Urban Youth Racing School. That is our Allstate good hands move of the race.
That looked like about 3 or 4 moves to me coming down pit road. He had to avoid quite a few guys coming out.
Well, man, you remember Robbie Reiser and Matt were talking back and forth, and Matt told him, tell me when it's 20 to go, and that's when I'll start saving fuel. Looks like that's what he's doing now.
Jamie?
Well, Rusty touched on it. You know, the sun's going down, the temperatures are cooling down. So what does that mean for Matt Kenseth choosing second? This is what he said on the radio.
The fastest man all day. I'm a little too loose, but by far the fastest man all day. By far. The best grip, the least amount of chatter, and the best balance I've had all day. Just let me know if you want me to slow way up and let everybody go, Robbie. You just got to kind of tell me. I'm trying to save a little bit here, but I'm probably not saving a lot.
And he's feeling so good behind the wheel. He's forgetting to back off as much as Robbie needs him to. So he constantly keeps asking Robbie, tell me, where do we stand? And he tells him, keep doing what you're doing, man.
I mean, here's the fuel story for the 5 car. Before they went back to green, the discussion was made. They were on pit lane on lap 270. Can we go 55 laps? The general consensus was no. Crew Chief Alan Gustafson on your left has been in discussion with his fueler, Brad Pickens. Did you get it full? I believe the answer was yes, but at that same time, lap 306, they radioed to Kyle, save me what you can. Sounds like it's going to be close.
Okay, Rusty, how do you save fuel when you're looking at the back bumper of the leader? And we got Jeff Gordon now. He's racing Casey Kane for the 6th spot.
It's hard to save fuel because you can see victory in sight. If you can pass that guy, you got it. In the back out of the throttle, let him drive away. Oh, man, that is tough. That's a driver's nightmare. You don't want to do that.
Then you got Kyle Busch sitting up there leading the race, and he doesn't have no fuel either.
One good thing about the 17 car, Matt Kenseth, he said, I'm a little bit loose, which that's better for fuel mileage. At least he's not tight.
If you're Steve Letarte, are you worried about the 24 getting by the 9, or are you worried about the 24 saving that half lap of fuel? Got to be wondering what he's thinking right now. Take a look at our Ford lap leaders. You'll see that Martin Truex has led 5 times for 135 laps. He will lead the most laps today and get the 5 extra bonus points. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Casey Kane. You see Biffle, Allmendinger, Kevin Harvick went a lap after Kyle Petty and Paul Menard.
Well, right now, it doesn't look like Matt Kenseth has slowed up any at all. The leader just went by Kyle Busch at 32.07 second lap. Matt Kenseth at 31.90, so he's faster than the leader. He's not slowing up. It isn't saving fuel at all at the moment.
We talked about the unpredictable and fabulous Atlanta finishes over the years. This could really be a hold-your-breath finish here in the final laps because, folks, there are still 26 cars on the lead lap. Can they make it on fuel? And if you run out of fuel with a lap to go and you get a lap down, you're going to finish 27th or worse.
This lead's heating up, though. These guys might not be saving as much fuel as they think.
Yeah, this is going to be a nail-biter, man. I don't have any nails left in my fingers right now. I've been chewing on them watching this fuel mileage thing, and I don't like this situation. We got to worry about fuel all the time.
The crew chiefs are biting their fingernails, too, buddy. I promise you that.
We're just hearing now that if there is no yellow flag, at least one car, the Kurt Busch car, will make a pit stop with about 3 laps to go. What about the 48 car? Mike?
Well, Doc, Chad Knaus just came over the radio telling Jimmy to be nice and smooth, save him some fuel. Jimmy's response was, I really don't want to. I think I have a car that's capable of winning today. Chad had to remind him, look, if there's not enough racing left, look at the big picture. Save some fuel.
That's what the crew chief's there for. He's got to kind of keep that driver focused on what the real goal is. And I know that Jimmy wants to get up there and do what he can. Like you said, Russ, it's hard to do that.
It's very hard to do it. You know what? Some of these guys...
Run out coming off of 4. That's picking up every little bit on our old fuel mileage numbers.
Well, somebody's going to pit, and somebody's going to go for it. And somebody might run out.
More than one somebody might run that. 11 laps to go, and a lot of these guys are thinking that they can run maybe 8 more laps. And those last 3 are going to be, oh my goodness, can we get there? What about the 5 car, Dave?
Well, Doc, just wanted to bring back up that at Charlotte, the Lowe's Motor Speedway a couple weeks ago, Hendrick Motorsports cars had trouble picking up that last little bit of fuel. And you know they went to work on that in the weeks that followed. Jamie?
And Robbie Reiser, guys, regarding what they're going for right now, he said, basically, we're 12th in the points. We can't really go anywhere. We're pretty much out of contention, so we're going for the win. And what does that mean? We can gamble. We can go for fuel mileage and different strategies. Let's see if they go for it, guys, and if it plays out for the 17 team.
Yeah, there you go, baby. That's what you got to do. Stand in the throttle, go for the victory, and heck with the points right now. He's pretty far back.
That's the old Rusty Wallace approach. The heck with the fuel mileage. I'm going to drive it till it quits.
If you look stupid, hey, I'll stand on the front line with you and say I was too, you know. But right now I want to win. That's the mood I'm in right now.
Oh, baby, a championship on the line. We're at a racetrack where things happen in the final laps. We've had some fabulous finishes here at Atlanta.
I see that 1 car coming up on these guys, too. Maybe they are trying to save fuel, allow some of these other guys to get in there.
Whoa, look at that. He was pretty sideways coming off of turn 4. And where did Truex come from, man? He just stood in the throttle and caught all of them.
We're hearing the 1 car is 3 laps short of fuel. We've already told you the 2 car is going to have to pit with 3 to go if they do not get a caution flag. But here he comes anyway.
Well, if he's got a pit, let's go for it, man. Let's go ahead and show him we got the car.
Yeah, he says he's 3 laps short. The 1 car did. Well, the 17 car, Matt Kent says he's 3 laps, and he's going for it. He's not even going to pit. Whoa, he better not wreck.
If he runs these guys hard enough, he'll make them stand in the gas.
Whoa, here comes the caution flag in Atlanta. Oh, my heavens.
And this is where you start turning the engine off and coasting and saving all the gas.
And the 70 car, Johnny Sauter, has cut a right front tire and taken some sheet metal away. And how many of these guys are saying, oh, thank you for this yellow flag?
They better go kiss Johnny Sauter. We don't want to see anybody having a problem. But, boy, this just might have saved a lot of them.
Before they go kiss Johnny Sauter, they got to make a pit stop here, and that's going to see what they're going to do. It's going to be some interesting strategies down there.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I pit or not.
Do you gamble, Andy? We talked about you got to do some things you wouldn't ordinarily do if you're not in the lead. You got to be able to get there. What do you do?
Well, it depends on who I am. If I'm the leader, I'm coming in. I'm going to get some tires. I'm going to get 4 tires. Make sure I got enough fuel. Especially this 5 car. He's fast. He can pass.
What if we got a green-white checker? That's a whole different. We've had those all year long, guys.
Now, what about if you're the 17? You're the bottom guy in the chase. How about you're the 1 car? You're not
coming. They're coming. They got to have tires. It's 2 seconds a lap, man. They got to have tires.
Here they come. Got to have tires and fuel.
Stays out.
Let's go down to Jamie.
And Robbie Reiser's on the radio. He said, let's go for 4, boys. Let's get fuel in here. Let's get down and go. Matt Kenseth said they can win it. Dave?
Kyle Busch said to his crew, this is where you earn your keeps. 4 tire change. Oh, they're having a slow stop. Trouble on the right front for the 5 car. Allen.
Kurt Busch needed this caution. He was not going to make it on fuel. Let's see if the crew can have a good stop this time and gain him some track position, Mike.
The 1 team considered taking 2 tires, but Bono Mannion ruled out against that, saying if we took 2, there's a very good chance we can get torn up. They went with 4, and they lost a little bit of position on pit road.
Take a look. Jimmy Johnson up 4. Some of these guys taking 2 tires. McMurray up 8 positions. Has been creeping up there. Earnhardt Jr. up 6 spots.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Johnson up 4 positions. What can this be? Right side tires, a little bit of fuel.
Yeah, and we got the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, stayed on the racetrack.
5 car over 18 seconds on pit road. Having a good car, but now a bad pit stop when you really needed the best one of the day.
This is the money stop, and this is where the pressure's kind of getting. The Jackman doesn't have the jack up high enough to get that right front tire off.
Oh, man, the Jackman, he's going to feel bad tonight.
Damage is already done. They make a good left side change, but they've lost a ton of spots right there.
Almost 19 seconds on pit road. They gave up 4.5 seconds to the other cars that came in. He came in as the leader, and he comes out not even in the top 10, and you can see the frustration on Alan Gustafson's face. He just turns around. How do you explain that to your driver?
Oh, man, so close, but yet so far away.
There's nothing you can say here.
5 laps to go right now, and you went from leading the race to completely out of the hunt.
New top 3, Denny Hamlin is there. Stayed on the racetrack. 2 right side tires for the 48 car. Earnhardt Jr. It's been races since Earnhardt Jr. has gone to victory lane. How hungry is he? Whoops, they stack him up. Coming to the green flag, and all the 31 car has contact in the Benjamin McMurray. Oh, the 11 car's out of gas. He gets hit from behind by the 1 of Truex. He gets nailed. Here comes the 5 car spinning around.
Truex has wiped out the 5 cars backwards. Oh, man, a melee at the start-finish line.
Well, I thought the 11 was going to be a sitting duck, but I thought it was going to be tires. I didn't think it was going to be fuel.
And we told you, folks, don't leave your couches because every race, the last 5, this has happened.
And Truex has had the great afternoon. He had nowhere to go. Cars on both sides. He just center punched the back end of the 11 car that just couldn't get up to speed. And now teammate J.J. Yaley trying to push the damaged 11 of Denny Hamlin back around the racetrack.
And Jimmy Johnson gets around the outside. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Reed Sorensen also 1, 2, 3 right now. Johnson leading. Wow.
Okay, right now NASCAR is trying to figure out where all these cars are going to restart. Everybody was so jammed up right there, they have to go back and look at these loops and see where these cars are going to start.
And folks, as of right now, Jimmy Johnson is 1 point back of Jeff Gordon in the chase. Gordon in the 24 car came in with the lead here, and now Jimmy Johnson Gordon right now in 9th position. Jimmy Johnson being shown as the leader, and there is a very frustrated Martin Truex.
That's just too bad to see because he had such a great race car. You see here, the 11 car was weaving back and forth, trying to get fuel to the pickup. These other guys just know it's time to go, and they start splitting him. See here, Martin Truex could not see that car wasn't going.
There's a 31 car, Jeff Burton on the outside. He hit in the back awful hard at Jamie McMurray because he anticipated they were going to go. And man,
yeah, Truex was also right behind the 07 of Boyer, and Boyer moves to the inside. Now watch the 07 move to the inside, and the 1 car is right behind him.
Well, you see, they're past the point of the restart, and they're expecting the leader to go, and he hasn't gone yet. It just has everybody confused.
And nobody's just falling here, guys. This is hardcore racing with 3 or 4 laps to go, and this is what to expect.
Stay in the middle.
Just knocked my eye out.
And if you're Kyle Busch, how costly was that slow pit stop that had you back behind this mess?
Well, he was just a victim here because he was behind all of it.
Green flag. Keep out of gas. Keep out of gas. Come on, come on.
He could have been right in the middle of this stuff too, so really no safe place to be on that.
Gonna get 1 shot. Green, white, checkered flag. Earnhardt Jr., remember, hasn't been in victory lane since Richmond in May of 2006. How hungry is he? Reed Sorensen, it's his home racetrack. He's never won a race.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
Folks, put the seatbelts on the sofa. Here we come. Jimmy Johnson down for the green flag, trying to win a chase and trying to win a race.
Oh, and Johnson gets a good restart. He gets away from that by about 5 cars. Junior spinning.
Earnhardt Jr. spins up in front of McMurray.
Tires flew off that left rear of the 8 car.
How in the world did that happen? The tire completely fell off the car.
That's the 1 attempt at a green-white checker.
Coming through the white. Coming through the white.
White in caution, and Jimmy Johnson will win it here at Atlanta.
They're yelling. Slow down.
This one, folks, is history. What a day as Jimmy Johnson wins and Carl Edwards waves out the window.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Left rear tire came completely off of that 8 car.
And talk about a good move out of Jeff Gordon. When that crash happened off of 2, he stood in the throttle and he picked up like 3 positions. Jimmy went from a 1 point behind to now Jimmy's 23 points behind Jeff Gordon. But boy, he picked up a lot of ground today on Jeff Gordon.
Good to see Junior get out of the car here. That was pretty good leg.
Junior's probably thinking, what in the world just happened?
Dave Burns.
Well, he had some indication that something might go wrong in the 8 car. He told his crew just before that restart, I think something might be broken in the back of this car, and that must have been what he was feeling somewhere back on that rear tire.
Out of the car, able to walk away. So this is the kind of luck. This is the emblematic of the kind of year I've had. Watch the 8 car. My heavens.
It's like maybe a broken wheel or something. I mean, the lug nuts just don't all come off the car at the same time. It could have been a broken wheel. And Jamie McMurray, oh my gosh, bad day for him. He had such a good run going on.
What a crazy finish.
That is crazy.
Comes off there right up in front of Jamie McMurray. And suddenly a day he thought might end up in victory lane ends up with disappointment once again.
And there's two fellas that didn't do anything wrong at all. Jamie's just a victim, and Junior broke the wheel.
The DEI guys sure did have tough luck.
Jimmy Johnson picks up his 8th win of the year, his 3rd win at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and now he moves to within 10 points, make it 9 points unofficially of Jeff Gordon.
And NASCAR's working, Jerry, on the timing and scoring right now. They've put Jeff Gordon back just a little bit, which puts now, at the moment, Jimmy Johnson within 9 points.
So Jimmy Johnson showing as the leader. Carl Edwards will finish 2nd. Reed Sorensen here at the home racetrack finishes 3rd. Matt Kenseth from the last starting spot finishes 4th. Jeff Burton is 5th. Boyer 6th. Jeff Gordon now 7th. And Kurt Busch is 8th. Casey Kane 9th. And Brian Vickers 10th.
And Jimmy Johnson climbing out of his car in victory lane for the 2nd time this season here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's his 3rd sweep this year. He did it also at Richmond and at Martinsville. And had that caution flag not come out with Junior at the end, what type of moves were you anticipating from the 99?
Well, I got a great restart, so I felt like I was in good shape. I thought the 8 was going to make quick work of him. I had such a good car today, so I had a little cushion going into 1 and was trying to run like crazy to get away from those guys because I knew the 8 was going to be coming. But today wasn't the best day for the slowest car. Chevrolet was decent, but a 5th to 8th place car throughout the day, and circumstances there at the end really worked out for us and we took advantage of it.
One of those circumstances was a call made by Chad Knaus to go for 2 tires. What did you think of that call?
Well, it depends on how you come out of pit road. When I left pit road and there was 5 or 6 cars behind me on 2 tires, I knew we were in good shape. So the 11 running out of gas coming to the green flag really caught me off guard, and I knew what was going on there. We took advantage of things today. And one other quick note to point out, I'm dedicating my race wins, which we talked about earlier this week. And with everyone else matching it from Lowe's, Bruton Smith here with Sonic Automotive, the France family, a bunch of people, it'll be well over $1 million going out to the American Red Cross. So something we're very proud of.